Wiping my mouth miserably with the back of my hand, I choke out, "I don't even know if Rosie's alive or dead." I'm afraid to see Thomas's response, expecting to see anger, maybe, or disgust. And I would deserve it. But instead, I see something that looks a whole lot like sadness, and even more amazing, sympathy. "Hank," he says in a gentle voice, "you need to call your parents. No matter what happened that day, you have to call them and let them know you're okay." "But I'm not okay," I shout at Thomas. "Of course you're not," he says quietly. "God, Thomas, why would they want anything to do with me ever again?" "Call your mother," Sophie said. "I guarantee she would sacrifice her own life to have you home." How can I believe Thomas or Sophie? If I had one kid who killed or hurt another, I could never forgive that. There's not enough love and forgiveness in this world to make up for such a thing, especially not after all my family has been through in the past 5 years. But I definitely can't talk about that. They're your parents. They love you. They love Rosie, too, I argue back. "Hank, they need to know where you are," Thomas says softly. Facing up to this is better than running away." "No. Can't face it. Not yet. What if I call and they tell me Rosie's dead?" I almost puke into the bushes again, empty stomach seizing, and I want to die. The beast still lives inside me, razor teeth and claws, resolute, protecting me from these final truths. I'm not ready yet. Threatening to swallow me into a permanent forgetfulness, the beast insists that I run from this last horrible thing, for now. I hide my face in my hands for a long time, smelling dead leaves and black dirt on my skin. Finally, I manage to say what Thomas wants to hear. "I'll call them," I say, "but after the weekend." "No, Hank. My God, this must be torture for them. They need to know you're safe, and you need to know about Rosie." I fight the urge to curl up in a ball with my hands over my ears like some little kid in a nightmare. I want to just scream at Thomas to leave me alone, to understand the bad stuff belongs to Danny, and I need to be Hank for a little longer. "Thomas, 3 more days is not going to change anything," I say as evenly as possible through my clenched jaw. "I need to play for Haley at the competition on Saturday. I can't let her down. One more person, not Haley." Slowly, reluctantly, Thomas nods. "Okay, Hank. 3 days," he says, holding up 3 fingers, just in case I need clarification. "And listen to me. You're not a bad kid. What happened back in Illinois, that was an accident." "Thanks," I say, "but I can see through the bullshit and platitudes. I've screwed up, and there's no way I can make it better." "Can you give me a ride back to your place, Thomas?" I ask. "I need to lie down for a while." In the parking lot, I climb on the back of Thomas's motorcycle, and as we ride to his house, I watch the horizon turn purple in the western sky. The end of another day in Concord, Massachusetts, and I know my days here are numbered. That night, Thora visits me in the blue bedroom at Thomas's house. He's wearing his dark gray jacket and sitting in the same chair where Thomas was when I woke up that first morning here, keeping vigil. "So now you know," he says. "Yeah," I whisper into the half-dark. "Guess you knew all along." He nods and tugs thoughtfully on his beard, which is longer than the last time I saw him, and streaked with gray. Henry's older every time I see him. It's like he's slipping away from me, getting ready to leave me for good. The thought of Henry leaving me now, just as I'm forced into disaster that is my real life, makes me furious. God, I don't want psycho ghosts or dream visitations or whatever you call this. All I want is oblivion, numbness. I'm not Thora reincarnated, not even close. I'm just some screwed up kid from Illinois who did something terrible and ran away, and he's just another crazy dream. "Go away, Henry," I whisper. He turns to look out of the window into the sky like he's trying to decide which star to inhabit in his next life. "You know where to find me," he says at last. I turn my face toward the pillow, closing my eyes to the figure in the bedroom, denying him. When I open my eyes again, he's gone. Somebody is hammering on the door. I roll over in my bed and bury my face in the pillow, ignoring the sound. Why doesn't Thomas answer his friggin' door? The doorbell rings next, and I open one bleary eye to see the sun glaring into the window from somewhere high in the sky above my house. It's not morning anymore. What the hell time is it? I have a vague memory of Thomas trying to wake me up earlier to take me with him to the library, but I told him to leave me alone so I could get back to sleep. It's all I want to do. Just stay in this bed with the covers over my head and sleep, and let the dreams come. Mostly they're memories in dream form, seeping back into my consciousness. Some of them are good, like remembering Christmases and birthdays. There was the year I got a new mountain bike, and the time I got my first computer. And there were all those big holiday meals when my mom cooked a turkey with grandparents and cousins crowded around a table. I dreamed about being in Boy Scouts and camping trips with my dad, mostly going up to Wisconsin into the North Country, miles and miles from anybody and anything. Those were the best times of all. The bad memory dreams are the ones where I see myself going through the motions of being a good kid, when in truth I'm holding so much inside that I want to break the furniture and throw things at the wall and scream until I burst a few blood vessels in my head. I'm the phoniest person around, putting hundreds of miles on my running shoes to escape, playing a guitar till my calluses bleed because that's an escape too. On the outside, I'm the perfect kid, like a statue of perfect marble, serene and unreal. Inside, it's all snakes and maggots and broken glass. And something else came to me in my dreams, something my whole family pretends to have amnesia about. I dreamed about coal. Closing my eyes against the sun, I try to go back to sleep. The doorbell rings again, over and over, really insistently this time, and then I hear someone calling my name, a girl's voice. Uh-oh. I get up and pull on a pair of jeans and pad barefoot to the front door, raking fingers through my wild bet hair. I open the door, and there she is. We have practice this afternoon. Did you forget? It's Haley, hair pulled back in a tight ponytail, car keys in her hand. One of her earrings is a dangly gold starfish, the other a seahorse. Her eyes snap with anger, and I don't blame her. But then, when she gets a good look at me, her eyebrows crunch together in concern. Hank, are you sick or something? Of course I forgot the band practice. With my memory banks under siege, I only have room for so much in my brain right now. But there's no way I can explain that to her without having to tell her everything. Haley, I'm so sorry. I didn't sleep well last night, and was just trying to catch up. What time is it? 3:30, she says, and her eyes blaze again. I was supposed to be at her house at 3 o'clock. Sam and Ryan are already there. Are you coming or what? I don't know how to make any of this better other than to scramble and pull myself together and focus on her instead of my own pathetic life. Look, give me 10 minutes to take a shower and get dressed, and I'll go with you. 10 minutes, I promise. Haley rolls her eyes and sits down in a wicker chair on the porch to wait for me, tossing her keys from one hand to the other. After my shower, I comb my hair and peer at my face in the fogged-up mirror, trying not to see any trace of Danny there. When I'm with Haley, there's no room for Danny, only Hank. The guys already have their gear set up in Haley's basement when we arrive. Quickly, I hook up my guitar to the amp, and we start right in our song. Even with the turmoil shredding my insides, I try to focus on the music. The smooth feel of the polished guitar under my hands, electric buzz in my chest as I strum the calloused fingers across the strings. My music, my escape. As for the band, Sam is solid, as always, on the drums. Ryan, I don't know. The dude still struggles. I thought you were trying to practice this at home, I say. I did, he says. At least I meant to. I had a whole lot of trig homework to do this week. I shake my head. Just do the best you can, okay? Let's go through this again. After about the 5th time, he sounds a few degrees better. At least it's progress. Okay, you guys, Haley says during the break. Miss Coleman asked me again about the name for a band. Any ideas? The room goes silent as we ponder this important detail. I know of this band called Serotonin. I always liked that name, Ryan says. Nah, that sounds too science geeky to me, Haley says. Haley in the Comets? Asks Sam. He smirks. Haley rolls her eyes. I think that's been done, Sam. How about Carpe Diem? I suggest. Everybody is quiet for a moment, thinking this over. Carpe Diem. It's the philosophy I want to embody. Seize the day. It's about putting all energy and attention into the present moment. This, music and Haley, and now. This is what Thoreau meant by sucking the marrow out of life, but it sounds way less grisly than something like marrow suckers. Although that could work too. Carpe diem. I like that, Sam says. Slowly, everybody nods in agreement. It's perfect, Haley says, and gives me this warm smile that shows me all is forgiven and she's crazy about me again. Carpe diem rocks into the song one more time, and for once, even Ryan doesn't screw up.